While we're waiting for the machine to cool down, let's take off the group head. And I'm going to take out the piston and the piston rod first, since it's easier to take out in this position. Take off the cap nut first, and then take off the capture nut here. It's nut that limits the throw of the piston. So the first two, they're a little tight. Not too bad, but I think the top has been banged on. Looks like these threads are a little bit damaged on top. Okay, so that gets the capture nuts off. I can take off the lever next, and I just temporarily put this in after from when it came back from shipment. You're going to see that these two, that the lever is just a little tight here. So we can open it up a little bit if we're going to reuse the same lever. And also you can see in this lever, this is steel, as is the base. Everything else is probably brass or copper, most likely brass. But you can see we have some rust inside here. Might be able to clean that up enough. There's not a lot of dechroming out here. So we might be able to reuse this lever. And it has, of course, the nice old handle with some coffee residue in it that we can clean out. So the lever's off. We'll get this roll pin out, or the nut, or the rolling, whatever that's called. Let's see if we can push this out this way. This is my favorite way of doing this, but it's not going very well this time. The thing of it is, you just put the handle on here and push, but it's obviously stuck. I did get this raised up. I have not pushed it down farther. So obviously the group head gasket, or the shower screen gasket's holding everything in place. So we'll have to take that out after we get everything apart, since we're going to be replacing that gasket. 10 millimeter. This was the 16 millimeter. So this is the 10 millimeter. Let's see if we can break it loose. That's an easy thing to break loose. There was no leak from around here, which is good, but we still will replace that gasket anyway in our gasket replacement. And let's see. I want this to fall down, and this is still a little warm. Yeah, not a little warm, it is quite warm. Let's see. Let's hold this on. Normally I wouldn't have to do this, but it's warm from just being heated up. That one's not loose enough yet. I like these wrenches because they're you can just use one hand and they ratchet and turn. And let's see, so those nuts are actually in good shape. Now this is a Pro, and so it has a boiler, or it has this fill tube here. What I'm thinking has happened is this fill tube is filled full of minerals. Let's see if we can check that out. You can see that fill tube does not look very clean. There is some water moving into it, but we couldn't get anything out here. I imagine that fill tube is full. We'll have to descale that by itself. And let's turn this upside down. And the gasket's in there, obviously. There's quite a bit of coffee residue. You can kind of get a peek at it right now. There is some water still retained in the group head, which normally is not the case, but like I said, I think this is full. We're going to unwind. Let's see if we can, let's see what we can do here. I should have a bigger screwdriver. I don't here to hold this, so we can see if we can just turn this. It did. Broke loose, and it did not break the fill tube. And so this just unscrews pretty easily. And for giggles, let's see if we can blow air through here. Oh, we can. You probably hear it. So that my theory is wrong about this being full of, the fill tube being full of minerals. It is full of minerals, but it's not plugged. So we'll set that aside so we can put it in a cleaner so we can put it in acid base later and kind of get the minerals off of it. This gasket's actually in surprisingly good condition here. It has it would need to be removed, as will this. I'm not going to actually play around right now with the group head because it's still quite warm. Let's see what else we can take apart here while we're there's still water in the boiler, but we can most likely, let's see, I think this is a 14 millimeter, which I have out here. Let's see, it's not 14. Let's see, it's not, no, that's 19. I grabbed that before. I think it's 16. Yep, so let's go ahead and take off the steam wand. That breaks loose, okay. And again, all these parts we will put them in a demineralizing solution. And we saw water coming out of this before. We will take off this nut here too. Let's see, I believe, let's see if I have something small enough to take it off with. I believe it's that was an 8 millimeter. This is a 9. I think it's going to be a 10. So it's been a while since I took off one of these. Here's the 10 millimeter. Yeah, everything seems to be 10, you know, or like, well, this thing came off 10, 14, 16. I don't think we have a 12 out here. That 3-hole came off really easy. So that'll help clean out the steam wand, help in the cleaning of the steam wand. And then let's see, this is usually the harder part. Let's try 16 again on here. Nope. So this side is a 14 millimeter and it's already loose. So that's why we had water coming out of there from before. Sorry to put my hands in front of it. Let's see if I can turn it this way just a little bit. And I'm unscrewing this. Once you get this nut unscrewed here, you can see it. Let's flip it all the way around. Like I said, I'm dealing with hot water and a hot machine here, so it's a little bit more difficult. So once this little nut here gets unscrewed, you want to unscrew it first, so everything's free. You can just turn this. It gets locked up about right here, and there's no easy way to get this off except brute force. There's no way to tap it. I could put some thread lock on it, but it's really not going to matter. There's obviously something that's holding it up inside here. It is coming unscrewed at this point, and that part is threaded back in here. It's probably the washer, which is really tight on this one. And let's take a quick inspection. It actually is in pretty good shape here. This needs to be all cleaned up. We'll replace this. Look at how this washer is just falling apart in my hands. If you can see it, these two washers get replaced. To do that, we have to take this steam wand, steam assembly cap handle off here, not handle, but knob off here. And I do have a special tool from Tudor that John and I actually designed it. John did most of the work, but I contributed. And so I'm going to use that here to take off this knob. And let's see if I have it handy here. I'll do it.